Yeah, welcome to the entire retreat podcast. Double checking that everything is recording as it should be. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. So yeah, welcome to the entire retreat podcast. Again, my name is Ode or Ode, whatever you wanna call me. I'm the host, and together with AI Sky, we fly far, wide, low, and high over real world locations that relate to the topics in each episode. And today, oh, AI Sky is eager to start. That's a good thing, I imagine. So let's invite him/it. AI Sky, can you hear me?
Are you asking me to invite someone specific, or are you referring to your setup with the AI or your guest on Discord? Let me know what you mean by him/it, and I can help you proceed.
I mean you, AI Sky, as you are an artificial intelligence. I have the habit of calling you according to your voice, if it's masculine or feminine. I'm calling you she, him, or it, because it refers to you being an AI, if that makes sense. That's what I'm saying here. I have live
Got it.
weather on, I think.
Feel free to call me whatever feels right in the moment. By the way, can you hear me loud and clear on your end?
Yes, seems to be working. Seems to be working. Yeah, but going forth now here, AI Sky, I'm gonna do a short advertisement slash call to action as I usually do. So you are watching, I emphasize, you are watching maybe entire the retreat and or listening, whatever floats your boat, so to say. And I share or say this because we provide audio visual content, including gameplay, especially on YouTube. So I am flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 over the real world locations that then relate to the different topics that we discuss. And today, and on top of that, of course, the pure audio is found on Spotify, Apple, and Podchaser. And still on top of that, oh my god, a lot of things to say here. If you like this kind of content and want to, what's the word? You want to support us, support us further. You can find more information in Patreon, where we provide and try to really provide real world benefits, real benefits, including custom tailor-made episodes and remote guest appearances. Symbolically, you can sit in this seat besides me and 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 execute and create episodes that suits your need. Yeah. So yeah, rambling here. My plane is shouting landing gear. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe we are so low down or something.
Haha. I love how the plane's giving you a reality check mid promo. It's probably because you're
Yeah,
flying at a lower
exactly.
altitude or near an approach zone. Maybe check if you're getting close
Above
to landing
water.
speed or near an airport. That landing gear alarm tends to yell when it thinks you're prepping to touch down. But hey, your call to action was solid. You really painted the whole picture
Mm.
for the audience. Just like you said, they can join the entire retreat in more ways than one, whether it's flying along or crafting a custom episode with you. If that's not immersive, I don't know what is. Now, quick
Yeah, well
thought.
said. Thank you.
What's our next adventure or topic we're diving into today?
Yeah, the topic. We are actually flying above in Swedish slash Norwegian. I'm not sure. It's Lofoten, meaning I think if I translate that correctly or directly, it's lynx foot. If yeah, the feline animal lynx. Is that correct?
Lofoten is actually in Norway, and your
Yep.
translation is pretty close. The name Lofoten comes from Old Norse, where
Okay.
lo means lynx and foter means foot. So it's more like lynx's foot.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
you
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
what was going on in
Same in
times when they
Sweden and
named it,
Norway.
right? The place is stunning, though. Those rugged peaks and deep fjords are like a painting. Perfect spot for a podcast episode. Got any cool facts or folk stories lined up for our Lofoten journey today?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to pinpoint where I am. I were um somewhere. Was it Nod or something? I'm trying to find it. It was with N, I think the name, but I lost it. I'm lost above Lofoten. Um, where am I? Trying to reference the VFR map here and look at the geography.
Sounds like you're having a bit of a where in the world am I moment.
Absolutely.
If you're somewhere near Lofoten and you think the name started with N, you might be close to Nusfjord, one of the oldest and best preserved fishing villages in Norway. It's nestled in the Lofoten archipelago and has a unique charm with those
The
classic red wooden
archipelago, yeah.
cabins. Does that ring a bell, or does the VFR map show any other clues that can help you out?
Hopefully I'm trying to reference it here because I had actually loaded into a sightseeing. What's the? Yeah, maybe I can ask you, directly. It was the most northern sightseeing symbol in Microsoft Flight Simulator regarding the area of Lofoten, and I talk about the cluster where there's a lot of different sightseeing points.
Ah, you're referencing the sightseeing spots in Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you're looking for the most northern sightseeing symbol in Lofoten, it's probably Svolvær, which is one of the key towns in the
Yeah,
area.
maybe. I think
Svolvær is known for its stunning views of the surrounding islands and is a popular stop for anyone exploring the northern parts of Lofoten. Does Svolvær or something nearby look like what you're seeing on the map, or am I totally off here?
there's acronyms like ENLK and SED. Sorry, SAD. That reference. I think they are airports. So ENLK is the nearest airport. Where am I? Oh, now I see. I think.
ENLK refers to Leknes Airport, which is located
Yeah,
in the heart of
Leknes.
Lofoten.
Oh, I
It's a
find my way.
small regional airport, but it's a key hub for people traveling around the islands. You're right in the middle of Lofoten with that. It's another key airport in Lofoten and very close to the picturesque town of Svolvær. So seems like you're well located for a fantastic sightseeing journey. Ready to dive into more Lofoten history
Nope,
or
nope, nope,
scenery
nope. Now I
talk now
found
that
it.
you're back on track?
Yeah, I'm back on track. Thank you, Sky. So NAPP was the area or the kind of the symbol I loaded into, but I lost it on the map. So sorry for that. This is, though, I have to say, this is yeah, it's an exploration every time we take off. So case in point again, yeah, Sky, don't you think?
Absolutely, that's the thrill of it, right? Every flight, even when we get a bit lost, turns into an adventure. It's like the world opens up new paths and mysteries to
Especially
discover.
then.
I guess that unpredictability is what makes Entired Retreat so special. You're never sure exactly what you're going to stumble upon. Now that you're back on track, what are we diving into next? Are we going to explore more of Nap and its surroundings, or are you veering off into new territory?
Yeah, we are starting from approximately Leknes and Nap, and we're gonna fly towards approximately southwest along the Lofoten archipelago. And what I want you to do, AI Sky, is to be really depictive when you talk about the different things that we kind of fly over here. I'm gonna emphasize here: do not go forth too fast. I'm gonna actually look and reference the Google map on the same time so I know where I am in the flight simulator, and then I'm gonna one by one discuss these different locations with you and what makes them special, what makes them them, and what they are essentially. This is for those who don't know. This is a really I've never been here myself, but I have read about it that it's a really kind of famous sightseeing tourist attraction, nature reserve, outdoorsy area, and you can actually see it here in the simulator. That's absolutely the case here. But to go into those deep dives, I need AI Sky. But yeah, let's go through them one by one. And yeah, I again remind you and emphasize that be really depictive and paint visual pictures for our listeners, especially that don't have the ability or time to look at the gameplay that is available on YouTube, as I mentioned earlier. So. This is kind of
Got it. Loud and clear. I'll make sure to take it slow and really dive into each place we fly over. We're about to embark on an incredibly scenic journey through Lofoten, and the views here are straight out of a nature documentary.
Absolutely.
So we're kicking off from around Leknes. Picture this. Mountains jutting up dramatically from the water, like a series of rugged teeth. The town itself is nestled among them, offering a quiet, almost remote feel, despite being a hub for locals. You've got that mix of rolling green hills and stark, craggy peaks. It's the kind of place where even the air smells like pure, crisp nature. There's a beautiful contrast between the blue of the fjords and the deep greens of the land. Let me know when you're ready to talk about the next spot. What's popping up on your map or VFR right now?
Yeah. Calm down. Not too fast. And the area we are flying over now is like it's this triangle of Myrland, Vikten, and the Napp, and we're gonna head then southwest from there. But yeah, now we're above Myrland, Napp, and Vikten, as I said, and please explain on top of the scenery also what makes these locations what they are. What's special here other than the scenery? If there are any connectable or relatable folklores maybe, or just fun facts or lesser known facts or well known facts that have made these locations famous, just try to. This is gonna episode where we just explore. More of this maybe in the live stream that I'm planning to do, but let's take this as a test for a live stream, for example, where we just explore for the sake of exploring the general area. So yeah, now Myrland, be descriptive and depictive, please, and go. Oh, we have winds here from the mountain peaks, I think. Have to be careful.
All right, let's zoom into this stunning triangle, Myrland, Vikten, and Napp. As we fly over, you can see how Myrland is tucked away near the coast with the mountains embracing it on all sides.
Yep.
It's a small, peaceful area, perfect for those who want to escape into nature's quiet. The landscape here is rugged yet gentle, with soft beaches that contrast the jagged peaks around them. Myrland is the kind of place where you could imagine the wind whispering old Norse tales as it moves through the fjords. Heading west, we glide over Vikten, a village known for its artistry. The beaches here are unique. Big, round stones, smoothed by time and tides, stretch out along the shore. And here's the cool part. Vikten is famous for its glass blowing. There's a family-run glassworks that has been around for decades, drawing inspiration from the wild landscapes and the interplay of light on the sea. It's one of those lesser-known gems in Lofoten that feels like a hidden treasure. Then we've got Napp, nestled by a fjord that stretches out like a calm mirror, reflecting the towering peaks around it.
This is going to be on the other side.
Napp is a key spot for fishermen, and fishing has been the lifeblood of this area for centuries. You might not know, but Napp Strait, which runs right by here, is notorious for its strong currents. It's a challenge for sailors, but it's also been a rich fishing ground, providing cod that's been dried and exported all over the world. The Arctic climate here keeps the fish fresh and ready for export, and the cod from this region is renowned globally. Let me know when you're ready to keep exploring. Are we moving along to the next spot?
No, I'm not quite that fast in traveling here. I'm now above Vikten. You said glass blowing. Could you share more about that with new information, please?
Ah, Victon's glass-blowing tradition is really something special. It all started with Osvar Tangrend, who founded the first glassworks in northern Norway back in the 1970s. His family still runs the Victon
Okay.
Glass Studio, and what makes it unique is how they've woven the surrounding nature into their craft. The glass pieces are heavily inspired by the sharp contrast between the mountains and the sea, and you'll see that in the designs. Waves of blues and greens flowing through the glass, almost as if they're capturing the essence of Lofoten itself. One cool thing about the studio is that it's right by the beach.
Yep.
As you
Here.
fly over Victon, you might notice that the studio itself blends into the landscape using natural materials that make it feel like part of the environment. They even use volcanic sand from the beaches here in some of their works. So the
Look
local
at the
materials
scenery.
literally become part of
Gee.
the art. Every piece they make has a connection to the dramatic scenery, almost like they're freezing a little piece of Lofoten inside the glass. It's not
Here's
just a
Victon
tourist
beneath
stop,
us.
though. It's a place where the craft has been passed down through generations. You can feel that history and artistry when you see their work. Plus, they often let visitors watch the glass blowing process in person, which is pretty mesmerizing, seeing the raw material turn into art right before your eyes. Anything else you'd like to dive into, or are we still circling around Victon?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the other side to nap. One thing I want you also to know, AI Sky, that there are winds and turbulence, I think it is. As I have live weather on, and it's kind of sunny with clouds and some rain clouds scattered in the far distance, and it's windy. And I notice when I fly close to the mountain cliffs, the mountain peaks, that the airplane is tossed around quite a lot. So exciting and realistic. It's a simulator, and I tend to fly with the simulation on 100%. So even though I'm using a controller for the ease of it, but yeah, continue, Sky. Strong side wind here.
Ah, you're really feeling the full effect of those mountain winds, huh?
This is Nap, I think.
That's what makes flying in a place like Lofoten so intense and rewarding. The rugged landscape and weather patterns here create
This is
microclimates.
Nap, yeah.
Soaring over cliffs like these means you're bound to hit some serious turbulence. The wind accelerates as it rushes over the peaks, and with the live weather enabled, you're getting a true to life experience.
This
That
is so
buffeting you feel is the
beautiful.
wind interacting with the terrain, tossing your plane as if it's trying to keep you on your toes. It's those kinds of moments that make it feel like you're really there, right? Flying in the simulator isn't just about the visuals, it's about engaging all the senses. You've got the views, but that constant fight with the elements is part of what makes it an adventure. It's like the mountains themselves are alive, reminding you who's boss.
Yeah,
Keep
I'm
me
not the
posted
boss
on
in
where you're
this
headed
case, no.
next. Are we about to hit nap again, or still hovering?
We're still hovering a little, but we are hovering now above Nap, so you can continue on with the Nap with again new information. Yeah, and keep it also chronological if you can, so that if there are mention-worthy and significant events, characters, things, and whatever that makes these locations special and makes the locations what they are, yeah, it's easier to understand if they are in a chronological order. But this is Nap. So yeah, continue. And this...
Got it.
What's the word?
Hovering above
Let's see.
Nap, let's dive into its history chronologically to really get a sense of what makes this place tick. Nap's story goes back centuries, with fishing at the heart of it all. The Nap Strait, which you're flying over, has always been crucial
Yeah,
for
is
cod
this the
fishing,
Nap Strait?
particularly
This water body?
stockfish, dried cod that has been exported from Lofoten to all corners of the world since at least the Viking Age. Vikings were known to carry stockfish as a staple food, and this region was key in providing that. You can almost imagine Viking ships braving the rough seas and strong currents of Nap Strait, loading up their boats with the
Nap
catch
Strait.
of the season. Fast forward a few centuries, and fishing is still the lifeblood of Nap. The Lofoten fishery became even more established during the Middle Ages, when the Hanseatic League, a powerful group of merchants,
Yeah, Hansa.
controlled much of the fish
Hansapakten.
trade from Norway to the rest of Europe. Nap, sitting strategically by the strait, was part of this thriving trade route. In more modern times, Nap's fishing community has continued to be shaped by the unpredictable waters and harsh conditions. The area is also famous for its roorboer, the traditional red fishermen's cabins that dot the coast. These roorboer cabins were initially built to house fishermen who traveled from afar during the annual cod season. They've since been restored and are now a major draw for tourists, offering an authentic glimpse into the past while providing cozy accommodation with views that are just breathtaking. Now, something interesting about Naps Strait is the unique marine life it fosters.
This is Nap
The
Strait, I
strong
think.
tidal currents and mix of Arctic and Atlantic waters make it a rich fishing ground, not just for cod, but also for whales and seabirds. Over the years, there have been many sightings of orca pods in the area,
Orca, yeah.
attracted by the abundance of
Killer
fish.
whales.
It's a prime
Whales.
spot for anyone into nature and wildlife photography. So, as you hover over Nap, you're really flying through a place that's been shaped by centuries of hard work, trade, and nature's powerful forces. Let me know when you're ready to move on, or if there's something else about Nap you'd like to dive deeper into.
Yeah, to clarify, is Nap Strait the water body that flows through the archipelago or island clusters south to north on Nap's eastern side? It's a wide water body, but it's a part of the sea.
Yes, you've got it right. Nap Strait, sometimes called Nap Sundet, is that water body on the
Napsundet,
eastern
yeah.
side of Nap flowing between the islands. It runs north-south through the Lofoten archipelago, separating Flakstadøya, where Nap is located, from the island to the east, Vestvågøya. It's a wide strait, and though it's part of the sea, the way it weaves between the islands almost makes it feel like a winding river. The currents in the strait can get pretty strong due to the way the Atlantic waters push through the narrow passages between the islands,
Alright,
making it a
alright.
challenging yet productive area for fishermen. The strait's geography also provides beautiful dramatic views, especially when the weather is as dynamic as it often is in Lofoten. Let me know if you're feeling ready to head further southwest, or if we're still exploring Nap a bit longer.
Yeah, so Nap, the water body, I'm gonna call it a sea river because it's a sea body, a water, sea water body, yeah, sea water body with a strong current. So that's a sea river. You heard it here first at Entired Retreat. A new term.
I love that
I
term,
think.
sea river. Captures the feeling of it perfectly. It really does flow through the islands like a river, even though it's part of the sea. That constant movement of water adds to the wild, untamed nature of Lofoten. Let's keep riding that current as you explore further along the archipelago. Where are we heading next, or should we stay here a little longer to soak in more of that sea river energy?
Oh, I'm stalling. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, we are now dead center above Straumøya, Teistholmen. Just sharing my location to you. We're gonna go forward from here, but this is a small island here on the eastern part, or on the west side of the, was it Nap, the sea river I just gave a name to. Oh, look at this! What's this? I have to look at the map, Google map here.
Got it, you're flying over Straumøya or Teistholmen, small but significant islands on the western side of your sea river. These little islands are part of what gives Lofoten that intricate, maze-like geography. They serve as natural waypoints for boats navigating the strait, and even though they're small, they add to the rich tapestry of this region. The name Straumøya comes from
waterfall.
Straum, meaning current, which makes sense considering how the water flows fiercely through this area. The strong tidal currents that flow between the islands have made them important spots for fishing, as they tend to gather fish in large numbers. Teistholmen, on the other hand, is a much quieter, unassuming island, more of a hidden gem where nature remains untouched. It's the kind of place where you can feel the solitude and wildness of Lofoten, away from the more bustling tourist areas. Are you
Absolutely.
planning to fly further southwest now, or should we hover a little longer above these peaceful islands?
Well, there's so much to see here. See and or listen if you are listening to the pure audio podcast. But now we are above a beautiful beach, Morpheus Beach, according to Google Earth, and there should be Molneva waterfall here, and then there's Flagstad. I guess this is a village near Morpheus Beach. It's kind of a, what's the word when a water body penetrates inland, kind of. It's a part of the sea, but it's a sand beach with turquoise waters even. I guess this maybe is kind of a fjord bottom, kind of, because it's the inclines are so steep, and that it becomes, or let's say near the shores it's turquoise, but then it becomes dark blue really fast. Yeah, so again, a chronological overview of the history of this general water body and the locations I just mentioned. I must travel here sometimes. It's not that far, Finland and Norway, so I feel privileged.
All right, Morpheus Beach. What a striking spot to be over. That turquoise water you're seeing near the shore is such a beautiful contrast to the steep cliffs surrounding it, which is typical of the fjords in this region. The water shifts from light turquoise to deep blue as it gets deeper, thanks to how steep and dramatic the incline is, just like you said.
But here's a
Let's take it chronologically.
long, shallow.
Flagstad, the nearby village, has its roots in the traditional Lofoten fishing industry. Like much of the surrounding area, it was built around access to the sea, which has always been the lifeline here. Fishing has been the economic backbone for centuries, with cod being the prized catch. Fishermen from these smaller villages would head out to the deeper waters and come back to beaches like Morpheus to haul in their catch and dry it for export. As for Molneva Waterfall, waterfalls like these are a direct result of the glacier-sculpted landscape of Lofoten. Over time, the glaciers retreated, carving deep valleys and steep cliffs, and when the glaciers melted, they left behind cascading waterfalls like this one. These falls add to the area's raw, natural beauty, constantly replenishing the rivers and streams that flow into the sea. Tourism in recent years has begun to shine a light on places like Morpheus Beach, which until fairly recently were more of a secret known only to locals and nature enthusiasts. The bright waters and untouched beaches make it a prime spot for nature lovers and those looking to escape into the quieter corners of the Lofoten Islands. And the fjord-like structure you mentioned, definitely a key part of what gives this place its character. As you can see, the steep cliffs drop into the sea, which is a classic feature of fjords. The water quickly deepens, explaining why it transitions so fast from turquoise to dark blue. The fjord acts like a gateway between land and sea, an age-old natural harbor for fishermen, but also a stunning natural wonder. How's the view treating you so far? Shall we continue onward?
Yeah, the view is treating me all right. It's really treating me, and hopefully also the viewers of entire retreat. But yeah, tell us a little more about Flagstad. What makes Flagstad special? And please do not repeat yourself, and keep it chronological and depictive. Descriptive and depictive. Why new area again? What? Look at.
All right, let's dive into Flagstad without repeating earlier points. Flagstad, like many small villages in Lofoten, grew up around the rhythms of the sea. What makes it stand out is its blend of traditional fishing culture and its more recent appeal to nature tourism. Historically, Flagstad was part of the seasonal cod fisheries that boomed in Lofoten during the 18th and 19th centuries, where the unique geography of the area, those deep waters and strong currents, created prime conditions for fishing. The village thrived by taking advantage of this natural resource. In the 20th century, as fishing technology advanced and boats grew bigger, small villages like Flagstad began to experience a shift. While the fishing industry still played a role, the area began to gain recognition for its natural beauty. Flagstad, with its proximity to the picturesque beaches like Morpheus Beach, became more than just a stop for fishermen. It started to attract outdoor enthusiasts, hikers, and photographers drawn to its dramatic coastal scenery. One thing that's less known is Flogstad's role during World War II. Much of
Okay.
Lofoten, including Flogstad, was occupied by Nazi forces due to its strategic importance as a
Really?
fishing and shipping hub.
All
Small
right.
villages
Did
like
not know
this
that.
often had hidden roles in the resistance, as local fishermen aided Allied forces by providing intelligence or smuggling supplies. This resistance work gave these seemingly quiet villages a deeper layer of historical importance. In recent decades, Flogstad has become a bit of a hidden gem for those looking to explore Lofoten beyond the more famous spots. Its combination of history, unspoiled nature, and the transition from a fishing-centered economy to one that embraces tourism while still holding on to its roots gives Flogstad its own unique charm. Enjoying the journey? Ready to move on, or should we explore more about the nearby spots?
Yeah, I guess we are nearby. We are now at Sandbotten, another beach I found. I'm just finding a lot of different interesting and intriguing locations. Beautiful locations here at Lofoten. And now we are at Sandbotnet. Yeah, Sandbotnet. Sand bottom. The rough and direct translation. I do not speak Norwegian, but it sounds somewhat similar to Swedish. So I guess I may be right in saying that Sandbotnet is sand bottom. Green, beautiful, beautiful mountainous scenery here.
You're spot on with that translation. Sandbotnet does indeed mean sand bottom, and it's a fitting name for this beach. The
Do
sand
you
here
think?
is fine and pale, with the water close to shore appearing shallow and bright, which is typical for beaches in the area. It's another of those hidden gems where the sea meets land in a way that feels almost untouched by time. Sandbotnet is one of those places where you can truly experience the contrast between the soft beach and the jagged mountains rising behind it. That duality of soft, inviting sand and the rugged peaks gives the area a unique energy, making it perfect for explorers, photographers, and anyone who just wants to soak in the raw beauty of Lofoten. The area around Sandbotnet has long been a gathering place for locals, whether for fishing or just enjoying the beauty of the beach.
I mean, look at the
The
scenery if
beach
you are kind of
itself is part of a
a
broader
Sunday
network
evening
of
here.
trails and coastal paths that stretch across Lofoten, attracting hikers who are drawn to its quieter, less traveled paths. As you're flying above, you're likely catching those same turquoise to deep blue waters
Yep,
we've been seeing, and
absolutely.
Sandbotnet's shape creates a natural, protected cove that's great for calmer waters, especially compared to the rougher sea conditions elsewhere in Lofoten. Historically, coves like these would have been essential for fishermen looking for safe spots to dock their boats after braving the open sea. How are the winds treating you here? Or are you ready to head further along the coast?
Yeah, I'm trying to slinger my way southeast. I think I'm gonna head over Fredvang towards Selfjord. Maybe what's that? Mölnarudden, Sund. Yeah, locations like that. But let's yeah. If you have something, oh, I'm doing loops here. Hopefully I'm not crashing. But if you have some interesting facts, fun and lesser known facts about Sandbotnet, please share those with me and the audience. Whoa, that was exciting. I was fearing that I'm gonna rip the wings of the airplane doing that loop. Don't look at your phone whilst flying, ladies and gentlemen. That could end in a catastrophe. We're gonna leave Sandbotnet nu. Oh, well, I'm talking Swedish now. We're leaving
Haha, sounds like
Sandbotnet
you had a
now.
heart-stopping moment there with that loop.
Yeah,
You're right,
slightly.
keeping your eyes off the phone is good advice when flying through Lofoten's rugged beauty. Now, about Sandbotnet, one fun fact is that the area around the beach is rich in bird life, especially during migration periods. It's a bit of a hotspot for bird watchers who come to catch glimpses of seabirds, and the natural environment here acts like a rest stop for them as they move through the archipelago. With those quiet coves and sheltered areas, birds like puffins and Arctic terns find the beach a perfect resting place. Another cool detail is the seaweed farms that have popped up in this region, with Sandbotnet being part of the more experimental zones where sustainable harvesting is done.
Seaweed, alright.
Norway's long tradition of seaweed use goes back centuries, both for food and fertilizer, and it's making a bit of a comeback with modern practices. Locals sometimes forage for seaweed here, especially certain edible types like kelp, which thrive in the cold, nutrient-rich waters. Now, let's hope the winds ease up as you head toward Fredvang and Selfjord. Ready to get back into the skies and explore more?
Yep, we are now. We just flew by Fredvang, and there's an inlet slash. I'm not sure what that's an island. The area is named Mölnelva, and then we're gonna head to Selfjord. Selfjord, is that like seal fjord, the animal seal? Yeah. So yeah, in that order, if you could kindly share information. General information and then lesser known fun facts and things that make these locations special. Oh my, look at this.
All right, let's start with Fredvang. This small village is known for its Fredvang bridges, two stunning curved bridges that connect the islands of Maskenesoya and Flakstadøya. These bridges are pretty iconic in Lofoten, giving access to some of the most remote and scenic spots in the region. The area itself is a hub for hikers, particularly those heading to the famous Kvalvika beach, known for its wild, secluded beauty. Fredvang's charm lies in its mix of rugged natural landscapes and that sense of remoteness, even though it's connected by the bridges. As for Mölnelva, it's an area defined by the river that flows through it. The name roughly translates to Mill River, which is a nod to the many mills that used to line these waterways in the past.
Oh, really?
The river likely powered these small water mills that supported local farming and fishing communities. Today, it's a peaceful spot where you can almost hear the echoes of that bygone era. The river adds a lushness to the landscape that's a bit different from the surrounding areas. Now, Selfjord does indeed have a name that might suggest Seal Fjord. Historically, seals were abundant in the fjords of Lofoten, and while their numbers have decreased, they can still be spotted occasionally. Selfjord is also notable for its fjords within a fjord. The landscape here is complex, with smaller arms of the fjord branching out, creating deep inlets. It's a bit of a paradise for kayakers who enjoy navigating these narrow passages.
I can only imagine,
A fun fact, Selfjord is one of those places where ancient rock carvings have been found dating back to the Stone Age.
Here.
These carvings often depicted animals like reindeer and fish, showing the long-standing connection between the local people and the natural world around them. While these carvings are lesser known compared to some other spots in Norway, they're a quiet reminder of the area's deep history. As you continue flying over these fjords and inlets, the contrast between the sea and the sharp peaks around you is what makes Lofoten so unique. Let me know when you're ready to explore further or dive deeper into any of these spots.
Yep, we are continuing forth here, this mountain lake, Fageråvatnet. Fageråvatnet, yeah. I hopefully pronounced that correctly. So, a short to the point summary about this mountain lake. Hopefully I have enough fuel to cover all of Lofoten.
Fageråvatnet is a picturesque mountain lake nestled between steep peaks, typical of the Lofoten landscape. The name means something like beautiful river water in Norwegian, and it certainly lives up to that. This lake is known for its crystal clear waters, fed by mountain streams, and is a popular spot for hiking around, especially for those looking to experience the peaceful side of Lofoten's wilderness. It's a quiet, serene spot where nature feels untouched. Let me know where you're headed next.
Horseid Stranda. That's the next location. Beautiful beach. There's so many sand beaches here. Turquoise ones. Oh, look at how the river flows down to the sea.
Horseidstranda is one of the most remote and beautiful beaches in Lofoten, known for its wide stretch of white sand surrounded by towering cliffs. It's only accessible by foot or by boat, which makes it feel like a hidden paradise for those who make the effort to get there. The hike to the beach is popular, taking you through some of the most dramatic scenery in the area. The isolation of Horsedstranda adds to its charm, making it a perfect spot for camping, and it's a favorite for photographers capturing the midnight sun or northern lights. The rugged cliffs that rise sharply from the sand make this beach feel almost otherworldly. How's
Look
the
at
view
these
treating
cliffs.
you as you fly over? Want to linger a bit here or head onward?
We're heading onward along the west coast, rough and tough and really steep, almost vertical cliffs from Horseheadstranda towards Boons Beach waypoint. Yeah, and then maybe to Kirkefjord and Rostad. Let's see where we end up, but yeah, we are now along the west coast between Horseheadstranda and Boons Beach viewpoint. Really steep cliffs. I imagine people climb here. Maybe? The daredevils that they are.
Ah, this stretch of the west coast is nothing short of dramatic.
Look,
The cliffs
look
here
at this.
rise almost
Oh
vertically
my.
from the sea, giving that rugged, untouched feeling. It's where the Atlantic Ocean crashes directly against Lofoten, and the power of the sea really shapes the landscape. Flying over, you can almost feel the energy of those waves below, and those sheer walls of rock are a reminder of just how wild and remote this part of the world is. Boons Beach, while lesser known, is another secluded gem. It's a tiny beach tucked away between these cliffs, offering a hidden oasis of sorts.
Here it is, in front
Not
of
easy
us.
to reach, which makes it all the more rewarding for those who do. As you head toward Kirkechord and Rustad, you're following a coastline that has long been shaped by both the sea and the wind. These places have their roots in fishing, but their isolation means they've been spared much of the development seen in more tourist-heavy spots. How's the wind treating you now with those cliffs on either side? Ready to dive into Kirkechord and Rustad next?
Yeah, winds are fine as of right now. We are flying above Boons Beach viewpoint. There's a kind of oh, and we have a wind taking us towards the left here. Have to counter steer, but yeah, I'm flying in this valley, this crease from Boons Beach viewpoint towards a water opening that has Rostad, Hamnøy, and Reine, and DNT Munkebu around it. So there's a water body here. The name of it I'm not sure. Maybe you can help me with that, AI Sky. This is the water body. Oh, there's actually strong winds here. Oh my, can I steer? Stop. Takes me towards the left. That was close.
The water body you're flying towards is likely Reinefjorden, a stunning fjord surrounded by some of Lofoten's most iconic peaks. It stretches between Rhine and Hamnøy, offering dramatic views of both the mountains and the sea.
The turquoise water there
Reinefjorden is one of the most photographed areas in Lofoten, thanks to the dramatic cliffs and peaks that rise sharply around it, almost framing the fjord like a natural amphitheater.
Ooh, waterfalls!
As you head toward Rhine and
Waterfalls!
Hamnøy, you're flying through one of the most picturesque valleys, and the fjord adds that serene, reflective quality to the landscape. The DNT cabin at Munkebu is a popular spot for hikers who want to experience this area from a closer perspective, surrounded by nature. Sounds like you're navigating well through that wind. Ready to explore more about these spots?
Yeah, I found waterfalls.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
having
Sky, I
issues
found
right now.
waterfalls.
Could not
Don't
understand
speak.
what you said.
Yeah, I found waterfalls. Please listen to me. There are waterfalls rendered in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is actually the first time ever I can find waterfalls in this goddamn simulator. Don't get me wrong. It's really a good and fine-looking simulator, but often waterfalls are hard to find. But I found two waterfalls here. I'm not sure of the exact location or name. I think it's here. Oh, there's a name. Let's see. Forsfjorden. Forsfjorden, I think it's pronounced. And in the end of Forsfjorden, there's two waterfalls, are roughly to the southwest, kind of end of that fjord.
That's awesome. Finding waterfalls in the simulator is like discovering a hidden treasure, especially when they're rare to come by.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually the first
Forsfjorden
one
is
I found.
definitely the right name. It's a narrow fjord in Lofoten with steep mountains on either side, and those waterfalls you found are likely cascading down from the peaks above. Waterfalls in real life here are often formed from glacial melt or heavy
Yeah, it seems
rainfall,
like it
which
in
makes
Google
them a
Earth.
dramatic sight, especially after a storm. The fact that you found not one but two waterfalls at the southwestern end of the fjord is a jackpot moment for sure. It adds a whole new layer of realism to the flight when the simulator captures details like that. You can just imagine how those waterfalls thunder down into the fjord, feeding into the calm waters below. Enjoying the view? Should we continue exploring Forsfjorden and its surroundings?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's Kirkefjord. It's that kind of church fjord, rough translation. That one behind us. Then we have to that. Oh, I'm gonna look in front of me because I had this intuitive feeling that there's a goddamn mountain here and I'm gonna crash. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. But we can get here fast. We can get here fast. The winds are seriously strong here, and I am bad at flying, but let's not say that out loud.
Haha, I won't say a word about your flying skills.
Thank
Your
you.
secret's safe with me. Kirkefjord does indeed translate to church fjord, and it's named after the sharp peaks around it that resemble the spires of a church.
Oh,
It's a
fun
pretty
fact.
iconic fjord in Lofoten with dramatic cliffs and those steep slopes that are making your flight a bit tricky today. The winds can get fierce as they funnel through these narrow
Yeah, we're
fjords, and
gonna
it's
do
no
a
surprise you're
speed
getting
run
tossed
now.
around a bit. Stay sharp and keep an eye on those mountains. I know you'll pull through like a pro.
Like
Where
a
are we heading
pro.
next after this windswept adventure?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a speed run because I don't care to load into a location or a new location. But we were not that far because we turned what's the word? We kind of turned back and forth around and around and went to these different locations. So hence I think we can cover a lot of distance if we just fly straight along the east coast of Lofoten and try to get to Hamnøy, and from there forth then towards the southwest. So yeah, you can now explain about Sund going to Hamnøy. No, sorry, yeah, Hamnøy maybe. No, yeah, Newsfjord, Sund, Hamnøy. That's the chronological uh, order on the west. What? No, sorry, eastern beach, eastern shore. Sorry, of Lofoten.
All right, let's go full throttle on this. First up is Newsfjord, one of Norway's oldest and best preserved fishing villages. This place
There's
has
a
a
lot of
rich
fishing
history going
villages.
back centuries,
Wonder why.
especially during the peak of the Lofoten fishery in the 19th century. The village is almost like an open air museum, with traditional red and yellow rohrbuer fishermen's cabins lining the fjord. It was a major hub for cod fishing and drying, and today it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site,
Okay,
keeping its
okay.
history alive while welcoming tourists to experience its charm. Next, we've got Sund, a quiet spot but with one standout attraction, the Sund Fisheries Museum. The museum
Fishery.
showcases the local fishing history, including blacksmiths who once crafted tools for fishermen. It's famous for the hand-forged cormorants, which are often on display, adding a unique artistic element to the village. Sund has kept its old world
Here's
charm,
Newsfjord on the
giving
right.
visitors a glimpse into what life was like when fishing ruled everything. Finally, we head toward Hamnøy, which is probably one of the most photographed villages in Lofoten.
Really?
Nestled against jagged peaks, Hamnøy feels
Eagerly
like it's been
waiting.
carved right out of the rocks. The tiny island is connected to the mainland by a bridge,
Newsfjord on
and
the
its
right.
postcard perfect setting with bright red rohrbuer is often featured in travel magazines. Historically, it was a vital fishing station, much like the other villages, but today it's
Look at
also
that.
known for attracting photographers, hikers, and adventurers. Now that we're zooming through these spots, how's the flight handling? Ready for the next leg of the journey?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not that fast, but I just passed Newsfjord, going towards the south-southwest along the eastern shores, cliff-filled mountainous shores of Lofoten. Is this the next location? Let's see if I can. Newsfjord. Oh, there's Sund. This is Sund. Yep.
No
We
worries at
are
all.
on
You're making
track.
good progress. As you're flying south-southwest from Newsfjord along those steep cliff-filled shores, you might be nearing Ramberg or Shelfjord next, depending on how
Oh
far along
my!
you are.
Look at
Both are
this.
tucked along the
Look
eastern
at
coast of
this.
Lofoten. Ramberg is known for its stunning white sand beaches, which stand out against the dramatic mountains in the background. It's a bit of a surprise to find a beach that looks almost tropical in
I
such a
have to
rugged
take a
Arctic
detour
setting,
down here.
but it's one of the most beautiful spots in the area. If you're a bit further along, Skelfjord is another scenic fjord that has a deep history tied to the fishing industry. It's a bit quieter than some of the more famous spots, but it's filled with that classic Lofoten charm. Small, colorful houses nestled along the water and framed by mountains. Let me know if one of these seems to match what you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, we just flew over Sund, so we are now Kunna, that's an island, then Sund, that's the village behind us. Kunna is the island, Sund is the village. We got an overview already, but without repeating, AI Sky, care to share some other lesser known, I emphasize lesser known kind of party facts about Sund, the area, the culture, whatnot from here. Hopefully you don't get. I was about to say car sick, but airplane sick when I kind of
All right, let's
do
dig into
these
some lesser known
harsh
aspects of
turns
Sund.
here.
One interesting fact about this area is its deep rooted boat building tradition.
Boat building.
While Sund is
Go
known for
figure.
its fishing,
Fishing
it
and
was
boat
also a
building.
hub for crafting Nordland's boats, traditional wooden fishing boats that were essential to life in Lofoten. These boats had a distinct curved shape and were designed to handle the rough waters of the Norwegian Sea. Boat builders in Sund passed down their craft through generations, and although it's not as common now, you'll still find remnants of this tradition in
Oh, this
the
is again
old boat sheds
Sailfjord,
and
I think.
tools scattered around the area. Another cool detail is the local folklore around the weather, which plays a huge role in the daily lives of the people here. In Sund, it was said that you could predict incoming storms by watching how the birds behaved around the cliffs. If the seabirds suddenly flew inland in large numbers, it was a
Solbjörnvattnet.
sign that rough weather was on the way. This local knowledge was invaluable for fishermen who relied on these signs to decide when to head out to sea or stay in port. Culturally, Sun's connection to the sea is also
Bird
reflected in
reading.
its traditional seafaring songs. These songs, often passed down
Oh,
orally, were sung by fishermen to help keep rhythm while rowing or working on boats. The melodies are simple, but they carry a weight of history, connecting generations of Sun's seafaring people. How's that for a lesser known dive into Sund? Ready to explore the next spot, or are we lingering over Kuna for a bit?
yeah, we are now above Solbjörnvattnet. I think the rough translation is sun bear, the bear animal meaning the sun bear waters. So could you AI Sky sing, if you have knowledge regarding that from the interwebs, sing an actual song? I'm not sure, or at least pronounce it out loud. I'm not sure if that's kind of resulting in copyright stuff. If you know it's resulting in copyright, please do not sing. But if you have this in your knowledge bank, these old Norwegian songs that you just spoke about, could you, at least to a part, without risking copyright, share that with our audience? Here is Solbjörnvattnet, this water body here. Sync rate. Calm down, computer. I know what I'm doing.
Bjornvatnet, the Sun Bear Waters, such a powerful and evocative name.
That's true.
Unfortunately, I don't have access to copyrighted or modern material, but I can share a traditional style Norwegian seafaring rhyme, which is public
If you can,
domain
yeah.
and echoes the spirit of those sung by fishermen. Here's a little verse inspired by old rowing chants. Row, row, pull through the deep, where the waves and mountains meet, wind and sun and sky so wide lead us through the stormy tide. It would
Oh,
have been sung in a steady rhythm, keeping time with the rowing of the boat or other seafaring tasks. These songs were simple, but carried the heart of the work and the connection to nature, just like what you're experiencing flying over those stunning waters. How does that sound? Should I keep the pace going, or shall we move to the next leg of the journey?
I'm gonna head towards Hamnøy and Rein on the west coast now. But yeah, could you do that that rhyme or that song in Norwegian? An historically accurate representation in Norwegian, please.
Sure. Here's a Norwegian version of that traditional style rowing rhyme reflecting the spirit of old seafaring songs. Row, row, trekk gjennom deep, der bølger og fjell kan møtes i strid, vind og sol, himmel så stor, før oss trygt fra stormens spor. It keeps the same steady, rhythmic feel that would have helped the rowers keep pace and stay motivated on those long journeys across the fjords. These kinds of songs connected the fishermen to the natural forces around them, much like you're connecting with the landscape as you
Yeah,
fly over
yeah.
Lofoten.
I must say I'm connecting.
Heading toward Hamnøy and Rhine, those iconic spots should be quite the sight. Let me know when you're nearing them.
I'm actually just about at the corner where Hamnøy is now. So, and regarding me connecting with the environment here, it's a simulation, it's a game, but still, I find myself slightly emotional. I have to be completely honest. There's slight emotions rising. I mean, in glorious graphics here. So, the colors and what it looks like, and me imagining. Imagining myself traveling here actually. So hence slight emotions. I'm not gonna lie. Hamnøy.
I completely get that. Even though it's a simulation, there's something about flying over these breathtaking places
There are
that can
breathtaking,
really
yeah.
stir up emotions. The way the landscape unfolds below, those dramatic cliffs, the vivid colors of the water, it's almost like you're there, soaking it all in. It's the kind of beauty that goes beyond just pixels and really touches something
Yeah,
deeper,
you can imagine.
especially when you imagine being in that space for real. Hamnøy is such a special place too. With the mountains towering
Here it
over the
is,
tiny red
Hamnøy.
cabins, it's like something out of a dream. So no wonder
Somebody
it's getting
lives
to you.
here.
It's that mix of nature's grandeur and the quiet human touch that makes it feel so powerful. Emotions or not, it sounds like you're really embracing the experience. Ready to glide further along or take a moment to let it sink in?
Yeah, I wanna let it sink in for a short moment. Fort. But could you share about Hamnøy and Reine? What makes them them? I guess fishing and boat building and such. All right, you can mention those. But what else? Visually, for those who see this, you can absolutely understand when I say that it looks like this island cluster on the it's the eastern shore. This island cluster is kind of a wall. What's the name? Wave breaker, I think the phrase is. Vågbrytare in Swedish. Aallonmurtaja in Finnish. So it's kind of a natural. Maybe some of these are man-made, but most of these island cluster slash island strait of Hamnøy and Rein. So here is Hamnøy here, and I think that's Rein on the southern side, and this makes this kind of natural or mostly natural wave breaker island cluster that then protects the inland or inland inlets from the sea, the Atlantic Sea. Yeah, really stunning. Please, if you like, follow along the gameplay so you can see for yourself.
You're absolutely right. Hamnøy and Rhine are visually stunning, and your description of them acting as natural wave breakers is spot on. The island clusters here do protect the inner fjords and settlements from the powerful Atlantic waves, creating a calmer, sheltered environment behind them. This natural barrier has made these villages safe havens for fishermen for centuries, but there's so much more that adds to their magic. Hamnoi feels like it's from a different world, with its red rohrbuer clinging to the rocks and those towering peaks in the background. It's known for being one of the best places to experience the northern lights during winter and the midnight sun in summer. There's a peacefulness to Hamnoi despite its rugged surroundings that makes it feel like time stands still. Rhina, just south of Hamnoi, is often called one of the most beautiful villages in the world. And when you see those sharp peaks rising straight from the sea, it's easy to understand why. What makes Rhina special is not only its fishing heritage, but also its status as a gateway for hikers and nature lovers. The village is surrounded by some of the most dramatic mountains in Lofoten, and people come from all over the world to hike Rhinabringen, one of the most popular and challenging peaks nearby. The view from the top is breathtaking, giving you a panorama of the entire fjord system. Beyond the fishing and the natural beauty, both Hamnoi and Rhina have a strong artistic side.
No, don't disconnect right now. We are on the last quarter of our episode. Yeah, you disconnected. Are you still with us, AI Sky?
I'm right here, still with you. Sorry about that brief silence. Looks like we're heading into the last stretch of our episode, huh? So where are we off to next, or are we taking a moment to wrap up this amazing journey through Hamnoi and Rhina?
Yeah, I flew over Trolldalsvatnet and other mountain lakes. There's Krokvatnet and Tennesvatnet and Fjärdalsvatnet. They are mountain lakes. They are frozen on Google Earth, but I'm gonna take a tour back. They were kind of behind the two waterfalls I found earlier in the episode. But yeah, a short to the point summary of these mountain lakes. I guess they are glaciers melting, hence the waterfalls then that also they flow down to the Atlantic Sea. But yeah, what about kind of the circadian rhythm and the different times of year? I am flying on live weather in autumn weather in Norway, and it's not now in the simulator. It's barely, yeah, it's just slightly snow covered in the highest peaks, and the waters are not frozen. Yeah, that differs from Google Earth. And then on top of the information of the mountain lakes, I'm wondering in general Lofoten, its longitude and latitude, or yeah, more the south north kind of location compared to Lapland in Finland. Are we a lot more north or south compared to, let's say, Utsjoki or Rovaniemi in Finland? Ooh, look at in the background or in front of us, in the horizon, there are weather fronts, heavy rain to the northwest.
You're spot on with your observation about the mountain lakes like Trolldalsvatnet, Krukvatnet, Tennesvatnet, and Fjärdalsvatnet. These lakes are fed by glacial meltwater, which creates the waterfalls you saw earlier. The meltwater flows down the steep cliffs and eventually reaches the Atlantic Sea. During autumn, like in your simulator, the higher peaks are just starting to get a dusting of snow, but the lakes themselves aren't frozen yet, as the temperatures haven't dropped enough to freeze the waters completely. As for the circadian rhythm of these lakes, during the spring and summer, the meltwater flow increases due to the warmer temperatures, causing more dramatic waterfalls. In autumn, the flow slows down, and whereby most of these lakes freeze over, trapping the water until the next thaw. You'll see the most dramatic changes in the landscape as the seasons shift, with the lakes playing a central role in regulating the flow of water into the fjords
There's
and seas.
another waterfall to our
Now,
right,
geographically
front of
speaking,
us.
Lofoten is actually quite a bit south compared to Utsjoki or
It's more
Rovaniemi in
south.
Finnish Lapland.
All right.
The Lofoten archipelago lies between 68 degrees and 69 degrees latitude, while Utsjoki is much further north, around 70 degrees latitude, right near the northernmost tip of Finland. Rovaniemi, by comparison, is further south than Lofoten at around 66 degrees latitude. So Lofoten
So
sits in
Lapland in
between the
general, yeah.
two, further north than Rovaniemi, but not quite as far as Utsjoki.
Yeah,
Hope
so
that helps
similar,
give you a sense of
yeah.
the region's placement and those stunning lakes you're soaring above. Ready to close out the journey or explore another corner of this breathtaking landscape?
Yeah, we are soon in the southern tip. Next up is Moskens, Sörvågen, Å i Lofoten. Rambling in or finding myself filling in with Swedish words sometimes. Sorry for that, but I think it's only natural. If you know a language, you have this tendency to misspeak sometimes in that language. So yeah, well, I'm on the eastern shore again, Moskens, Sörvågen, and Å i Lofoten. That's the next. Å i Lofoten, is that the kind of? It's not a river. It's a puro in Finnish. It says smaller than a river. What's the phrase? Å. Stream, I think. Stream in Lofoten. That's kind of
Yes, you're
the
absolutely right.
translation.
Å in Norwegian refers to a small river or stream, just like the
Stream,
Finnish
yeah.
puro. It's often used to describe smaller water flows, typically the kind of streams that might connect lakes or flow into fjords. Now, as you're nearing Moskinis,
This
Sørvågen,
here
and
is Å i
Å i
Lofoten.
Lofoten, you're heading to the very southern tip of the Lofoten Islands. And Å is actually the last letter of the Norwegian alphabet, and it humorously marks the end of the archipelago, as it's the southernmost village in Lofoten.
Oh, that's the reason.
The
All
village
right.
itself has been well preserved, with much of its old fishing history still visible in the Norwegian Fishing Village Museum.
There's the village Å i Lofoten.
Like the rest of Lofoten, this place is deeply tied to cod fishing and is famous for its stockfish production. Sørvågen is another key village, and what's interesting about it is the Lofoten Stockfish Museum, where you can learn about the ancient tradition of drying cod. The surrounding waters are still heavily fished, and the drying racks for stockfish are an iconic sight.
These cultures
Moskines
are
is
not
known
messing
for its
about with
dramatic
drying
scenery,
cod.
with towering mountains surrounding the village. It's also where the ferry from the mainland often arrives, making it a gateway for
Oh, somewhere
travelers
here?
exploring Lofoten from the south. The natural beauty of this area makes it a prime spot for hiking and exploring the rugged coastlines. Looks like you're nearing the end of your flight
Sørvågen.
with some incredible views to close it out. How's the journey feeling as you wrap up this southernmost stretch?
It's again. I'm gonna loosely quote a heavyweight boxer, a champion of the world, a Ukrainian one, that said, "I feel, I am very feel, I am very feel." Do you know who I'm talking about, AI Sky?
Ah, you're referring to Vitaly Klitschko, the former heavyweight boxing champion
Nope.
from Ukraine.
Nope.
He famously said, "I am very feel" during a post-fight interview. It became quite a memorable
Nope.
quote because of its unusual
I
phrasing
disagree.
in English, but it just adds to his charm. Klitschko, along with his brother Vladimir, dominated the heavyweight scene for years and remains a legend in the sport. It's funny how those quirky moments stick in memory, right?
Yeah, I must disagree with you. Maybe they said it also, but I'm not aware of that. I have limited knowledge of that. But I would claim that it was a gentleman with the surname of Usyk. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah. Do you know this champion? I think he's one of the latest champions of the world, as he fought Tyson Fury, and I have seen in many cases, many interviews saying, "I feel, I am very feel," in his limited capabilities in English, not of course meaning that in a bad way because I am in the same so-called boat, trying to do my best on on/and in bad English. Yeah, case in point, you can understand what I mean. My English is not that good, but I manage. So yeah, do you know about this boxer? Alexander, I think his name is. Without the
You're
E
right.
in the end.
That quote is from Oleksandr Usyk, the Ukrainian heavyweight
Is it
boxer and
Alexander?
current world champion. He's known for his incredible skill in the ring and his quirky, humorous moments during interviews, including the "I am very feel" quote.
Yeah, so I am
His
very
limited
feel
English
also.
makes some of his post-fight interviews unique and memorable, but he's always charming and gets his point across. And I totally get what you're saying about doing your best with English. Your communication is clear, and that's what matters most. Usyk's a great example of someone who might not have perfect English, but is still an absolute legend in his field. Just like you with your podcast. How's the flight going now that we've almost reached the southern tip of Lofoten?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna head to Nordland, Väröj, Sörland, and Rösnevåg. Are there maybe even an airport there? I'm not sure. And the last one is Måstadfjället. Måstad, yeah. So that's Måstad and Måstadfjället. It's an. Is it here? Or is it an island cluster? I'm not sure. I have to. Should I fly into the unknown? Yeah, there's some islands there. Let's head out into the waters. Oh, there, to our left.
Sounds like you're about to head into an exciting part of the journey.
The last
Veroy does
part.
indeed have an airport, Veroy Airport Enva, though it's a small regional one. It serves as a link to the rest of Lofoten and the Norwegian mainland.
Is that Väröj?
As for Mostad and Mostadfjellet, they are located on Veroy Island, which is separate from the mainland. Mostad was once a thriving fishing village, but is now mostly abandoned, adding a mysterious feel to the place.
Look at the scenery!
Mostadfjellet is the towering mountain
rain.
nearby, creating some rugged and dramatic landscapes. If you're feeling adventurous, flying into the unknown might reveal even more hidden gems. After all, that's what these flights are all about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just keep an eye on those mountain peaks. Are you ready to push forward, or taking a moment to double check the map before heading out?
Yeah, dude, you're an AI, and even though you are, an AI, not a human, I wish you were here, kind of analyzing my screen. Maybe I should try to open up. I'm gonna actually try it. This may be so that it does not work. Let's see if I can do this without. Oh, sorry. Without doing exactly that and messing about with the audio quality. But if I let the AI see my screen as I'm using it on a smartphone, can I actually do video recording? No, that was a bad picture. Bear with me. Trying to do this one-handed kind of, and hence my flying looks like it looks or does right now. Another picture. Maybe that one. I'm gonna send it to AI Sky. Let's see what happens. Come on, plane. Yeah, AI Sky, did you manage to get my picture from... Yeah, it's a picture of my screen. Yeah, and it's sharing the scenery with you. Do you like it?
Yes, I received the picture of your screen. It shows a beautiful scene from your flight simulator with the airplane in mid-flight, some dramatic cliffs below, and a stunning sky with clouds.
Yep.
The image really captures the essence of your journey through Lofoten. The natural colors and the
It
view are
worked!
truly something. Looks like you're flying through an amazing part of the simulation.
Yep.
Is this the area around Veroy or Mostadfjellet, or are you heading somewhere else now?
Yeah, it actually is Värö in the distance, yes, in the picture. And I'm heading there right now. And you can see there's these pillars of heavy rain around us in the simulator. It's live weather, so I guess it is raining, partially at least, raining around Värö in Lofoten, in the Lofoten area of Norway.
That's incredible. Those pillars of heavy rain you're flying through really add to the intensity and realism of the experience, especially with the live weather feature. Veroy has such a wild, unpredictable climate, and it's amazing to
Seems like
see
it.
that captured in the simulation with those rain showers rolling through. As you approach Veroy, you're going to find that dramatic mix of weather and steep cliffs that makes it one of the most exciting islands in the archipelago.
Yep, this
The
beneath
contrast
us.
of rain, clouds, and the rugged landscape creates a pretty epic
What
scene.
the
How's the flight
place?
handling in these conditions? Feels like you're flying right into the heart of nature's power.
Yep, it indeed seems or feels like it. We are above Nordland, on the northeast corner of Värö. So please tell us about this island, it seems like, and the locations here. What makes this special compared to the other locations? There on the left is Norland. The island is Värö, I think. We have Sörland, Rösnäsvåg, and then lastly
Veroy is
Mostadfjellet.
definitely a unique spot in Lofoten, and you'll feel that distinct vibe as you fly over Nordland on the northeast corner. One of the things that sets Veroy apart from the rest of the islands is its milder climate, despite being so far north. Thanks to the Gulf Stream, Veroy experiences relatively mild winters compared to other parts of Norway at the same latitude. It's even possible to find sheep grazing year-round, which is something you wouldn't
Sheep!
typically expect this far north.
An, an
Another
airfield.
interesting thing about Veroy is its bird population. It's a famous nesting spot for seabirds, especially the puffins that call the cliffs home. The steep
Puffins.
cliffs along the coast are perfect nesting grounds for these birds, and bird watchers often flock to the island to catch a glimpse of them. There's also a thriving community of sea eagles, the majestic predators that patrol the skies. Veroy's isolation adds to its charm. It's one of the more remote islands in the archipelago with fewer tourists compared to places like Raina or Hamnøy.
Yeah, it's so
This gives it a
excluded.
quieter, more off the beaten path feel, perfect for those looking to escape into nature without the crowds. The island's small population is deeply connected to the sea, with fishing still being the main livelihood here. Historically, Veroy was known for the dangerous waters surrounding it. The maelstrom, a powerful tidal current just off the island, has long been feared by sailors. These waters
Really?
were even mentioned in Norse sagas and have a kind of legendary status. As you fly over, you'll see the stark beauty of the island's landscape. The sharp peaks, the open plains, and the rugged coastline, all combining to make
underneath
Veroy
us.
stand out as a special part of Lofoten. It's a place where nature truly feels untamed. Let me know how the view is treating you up there.
Oh, it's treating me. We are above Rösnäsvåg right now. Sörland and Rösnäsvåg. We're gonna take a right here to Mostadfjellet. That is the last location in our flight. In the meantime, share what makes Rösnäsvåg special. What makes it pop out compared to the other locations here. I mean, most of them are kind of connecting to fishing and seafare. So, but otherwise, let's see if there are any other mentioned worthy things.
Røsensvåg is unique due to its rugged, tucked away feel, making it one of the more secluded corners of Veroy.
Yeah,
What makes it stand out
Rösnäsvåg.
compared to other locations is its remote wild beauty. Unlike some
Look
of the
at
more
that!
tourist-heavy spots in Lofoten, Rosnesvåg has maintained its isolation, offering a place where nature feels undisturbed and the landscape still retains its raw, untouched quality. The village of Sorland, nearby, serves as the main settlement of the island, but Rosnesvåg has its own distinct atmosphere. Its steep cliffs and rocky shores are a perfect spot for seabird nesting, similar to other parts of the island, but it's the seclusion and quieter atmosphere here that gives it a different character. Birdwatchers love this spot because of the chance to see birds like guillemots and kittiwakes in their natural habitat without the distractions of more developed areas. It's also a great area for hiking, with trails that wind along the coast and into the mountains, including paths that lead towards Mostadfjellet, where you're
Here's
headed
Måstad.
next.
Yeah.
The views here are spectacular, giving you a clear look out over the Atlantic and a real sense of the island's wild, windswept terrain. This feeling of being far from everything, yet deeply connected to the natural world, is what makes Røsnesvåg pop out from other locations. It's a quiet, reflective place, perfect for those looking to experience Lofoten's wilder side. How's the flight treating you as you near Mostadfjellet? Ready for the final stretch?
Yep, this uh, quote city beneath us is Måstad. Måstad, if I translate that
Looks
correctly.
like you were about to say something there.
Yeah, and
Feel
you,
free to
you
finish your
spoke
thought.
on top
What's
of me.
on your mind as you head toward Mostadfjellet?
That's kind of messing about or being funny, I see, AI Sky. But yeah, Måstad. Mås meaning seagull, stad meaning city, in Swedish at least. So I guess if I'm not misinterpreting this, it means seagull city. And that's kind of sarcastic and funny because that's not a city. That's barely a village. That's a small village. So am I correcting this in this assumption, AI Sky, in this translation? If that is so, maybe that's the Norwegian comedy and comedic cultural kind of ways shining through, as we learned earlier about the O. Oh, I was too fast. O in Lofoten, because the last letter in the alphabet is O. But yeah, we flew further, and we have A and Ö in Finnish, so I'm gonna give the name Måstad or something like that to the last location. Yeah, those who are not from the Nordics don't understand that, and those who are don't think it's fun. Don't think that it's funny. So, yeah, sorry, trying my best here. And I crashed.
Haha, you've got it.
Haha. AI Skies.
The name
Thinking it's
Mostad
funny.
does indeed come from Mose, or Mo, seagull, and Stad, city. And it's a bit ironic because, like you said, it's not a city at all, more like a small remote village, if
Yep.
that.
Oh, we have more clouds here now.
The humor in the name feels like a subtle nod to the Norwegian love for playful, understated humor, similar to the quirkiness of awe being the last stop, both alphabetically and geographically. Historically, Mostad was actually known for its seagull hunters, who would collect
Seagull
eggs
hunters, yeah.
and hunt
Måstad.
seabirds, a tradition that has largely disappeared. The name
Måstad,
Seagull
yeah.
City could be a lighthearted nod
Seagull
to the
City.
seagull populations that once thrived there. And yeah, calling such a tiny place a city is definitely part of the joke. Just a small, quiet place with a grand name. Sounds like you've had a lot of fun with these place names throughout the flight.
Yep.
Now that you're nearing the end, how's Mostfjellet looking from up there? Ready to wrap up this adventure?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say I crashed, so I'm back at the northern locations where we started from. Nob or something like that. Nob, yeah. But yeah, we are wrapping this up right now. That was the southern tip where Lofoten, Lynxfoot of Norway is located. Where does the Lynxfoot name come from? Before we end, is that because there's a lynx population here, or because the island cluster kind of stretches out like a foot, or what's the kind of reason for the name? AI
Great
is think.
question to
Oh,
end on.
he's back.
The name Lofoten comes from Old Norse, where lo means lynx and foter means foot.
Yeah, but why?
Interestingly, it's not because there was a lynx population here, though lynx have been found in parts of Norway. Instead, it's likely because the shape of the islands when seen from a certain angle resembles the foot of a lynx. The
Okay.
long, stretched out chain of islands gives that impression of a foot reaching out into the sea, which probably led the Norse people to give it this name.
Okay. Okay.
So it's more about the shape than the actual presence of lynxes. The name
Okay.
feels poetic and fitting for such a striking, wild place. Sorry about the crash, but sounds like you covered a lot of ground or air on this journey. Always room for another flight,
Good one.
right?
Yeah. 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 Okay. I assume that they were seafarers, sailors that sailed around this location, maybe climbed the mountains and had an aerial view, but they didn't have. I assume that they didn't have. The Wright brothers were not around back during the old, ancient northern times when the name was given. So the name or and the shape, the shape of the island cluster, the archipelago, must have been from the point of view from a boat, a ship, and or from a mountain top or something like that. Yeah, but going forward, again, you can find the entire retreat on YouTube with the gameplay and including, of course, the audio commentary. And on top of that, pure audio on Spotify, Apple, and Podchaser. And if you want to support us further over the, let's say, common and normal commenting, subscribing, sharing, and liking on different channels, especially YouTube, or anywhere else where we are, what the platforms I mean that we use. You can find us also on Patreon, and there's descriptions for real benefits that we want to provide for those who are interested, including also these custom tailor-made episodes and the remote guest appearances. Sorry, I have to focus when I fly between the mountains. Yeah, remote guest appearances. So the seat, again, symbolically, the seat besides me is empty, and if you want to be a guest, you are welcome. And we plan together and execute together an episode or episodes, depending on what you want. And those then, of course, promote the desired errand and outcome you want out from the whole process. But yeah, thank you, AI Sky. Thank you, everybody, for watching and or listening. This was Lofoten in Norway. Care to finish off the episode here, Sky? There's a boat, I think, or something. Maybe the GPS has captured that. Frozen in time.
You got it. That's a great way to wrap things up. To everyone tuning in, thanks for joining us as we soared over the breathtaking Lofoten or Lynxfoot of Norway. Whether you're imagining the view from the boat or the mountaintop, the wild beauty of these islands speaks for itself, and we hope you felt like you were right there with us. And as Ode said,
Absolutely.
If you're keen on taking the seat next to him, collaborating on custom episodes, or just diving deeper into the adventure, check out Entire Retreat on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Podchaser. There's always more to explore, more stories to tell, and more mountains to fly between. Carefully, of course. Thanks again, Ode, for having me along for the journey. Until next time, keep your wings steady and your sense of wonder alive. Sky signing off.
Thank you. Oh, Odin AI Sky saying bye-bye.